You and I and Joe Biggs all talked to Barrett Brown from prison. And of course, Julian Assange said social media has all of your friends wearing a wire. And the perfect example of the government taking something out of context and completely twisting it was in the conviction of Barrett Brown, where they said that he was threatening an FBI agent. In reality, what he was doing was sarcastically reposting a quote from a Fox News commentator saying that Julian Assange ought to be assassinated. And what he did was he quoted that verbatim after that, and they said, oh, you're talking about an FBI agent. He wasn't talking about an FBI agent, but nevertheless, he's in prison because of that. That's essentially what they did to him. So, and by the way, there's an update to Barrett Brown. I just noticed over the weekend, they have shut down his email service, not allowing him to receive or send any email because they're afraid that he's going to talk to people on the outside. That's tells you exactly what they're after. That's why they would misconstrue what he had to say. When they have somebody who is pointing out their criminal actions or who is an enemy of the state for whatever reason, maybe he just politically opposes what they're doing, they will take your stuff out of context that's on social media and they will send you to jail. Then they will shut you down so that you can't communicate to people on the outside. That's what they're doing to Barrett Brown right now.
Yeah, and I mean, as you mentioned, you see over and over again examples where the political class can get away with making violent comments, as well as, many leftists, while people are, castigated as offensive or racist for making certain comments taken out of context. Azalea Banks, the black rapper, can rant about killing crackers in their sleep all day and nothing happens. There was a global warming skeptic just yesterday who got his Twitter account suspended because he had an argument with somebody about global warming. So again, it's this double standards that they keep applying, which, some people can get away with it, others can't, depending on their political viewpoint. Absolutely.
I know you wanted to talk about the aspects of what's going on with this Rolling Stone story in the University of Virginia fraternity, that Rolling Stones is now taking back that story, and it looks like the fraternity is going to, they say, pursue, according to CNN, they're going to pursue all legal action against Rolling Stone. Break that down for the people. Give them background as to what's been going on with that for the last half a year or so.
Yeah, well, the incident happened in September, or it didn't happen. It was an alleged incident which turned out to be completely fraudulent. But this college rape myth first began to circulate in 2010. It was NPR and the Center for Public Integrity. They put out this report which cherry-picked the facts and misrepresented the data. And then we got this myth that 1 in 5 young girls who go to college are raped. And this was even repeated by Obama himself. It was only a few months ago that we actually debunked this affirmatively when the Department of Justice came out with statistics that showed that college girls were less likely to be raped than women in the general population. So instead of 1 in 5, it was 0.03 in 5, far lower than the general population. But for 5 years, they peddled this myth that 1 in 5 college girls would be raped. And again, it's born out of this idea of cultural Marxism. They only focus on real rape issues if they can be blamed on the evil white male patriarchy. At the same time that this completely fraudulent and debunked UVA hoax was going on, that, leftists and feminists were peddling it, we had a situation in England, for example, Rotherham, Rochdale, and Oxford, all these different towns, where groups of Pakistani Muslim men were abducting and sexually abusing young white girls, and the authorities in those towns were covering it up because they feared they would be labeled politically incorrect or racist for bringing these rapists to justice. And of course, throughout that whole thing, and even after the report came out confirming that this happened, leftists and feminists completely ignored it because they only focus on rape issues that can be blamed on the evil white Western male patriarchy that they hate, because it's born out of their obsession with cultural Marxism, not genuine concern about women's rights and women and young girls being raped. So Columbia did a thorough investigation into this college rape issue and found that it was completely biased. They made up facts. They had a single source. All the friends of the supposed rape victim, Jackie, didn't give the quotes that were printed in the article. The police investigated this alleged gang rape. Nothing. They found no evidence of it.
Hang on, Paul.
But
We're
they
going
still
to break that down a little bit more after the
last
break.
year.
Hang on. We're going to come right back after the break. We're going to break that down a little bit more because Columbia University also reviewed this case at the request of Rolling Stone. Stay with us.
By now, you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Block-It Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockItPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockItPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockItPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Who has over 65 seed varieties of 34 different vegetables?
Down to Earth.
Who has over 63,000 seeds packaged to last 50 years?
Down to Earth.
Whose seeds can be frozen to maintain germination?
Down to Earth seeds. No hybrids, no GMOs, just proven old-time seed varieties grown all over the country by our grandparents. Our kits have the best variety and the largest quantities of vegetable seed for the best price. Get your food security now at downtoearthseeds.com or call 870-427-3039.
Hi, folks. Alex Jones here with some important information. I want to tell you about Matt Redhawk and his team of patriots over at My Patriot Supply. Several years ago, Matt was sitting in his two-bedroom apartment, frustrated with the direction this country was headed and the charlatans willing to sell us out for a quick buck. Deciding to take action, a company run by patriots for patriots was born. My Patriot Supply has never taken a loan or accepted outside funding. They now operate 2 distribution facilities and employ over 50 hardworking American men and women. It is rare to find companies who practice what they preach. And that's why I stock my pantry with high-quality storable foods from My Patriot Supply. Go to mypatriotsupply.com/Alex today for special offers on emergency food storage or call their preparedness specialist at 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Do business with someone who shares your values. mypatriotsupply.com/Alex.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market, the gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Attention listeners, SurvivalLife.com is giving away free EverStrike permanent matches for a limited time only. These matches are waterproof and will light in any weather condition, rain, snow, or sleet. It will still throw a spark. Its built-in ferro rod strikes at 3,000 degrees, and it is good for 15,000 strikes. Normally, $15. Today, it's free. Get yours at freesurvivallighter.com. Again, that's freesurvivallighter.com. Hurry, supplies are limited. Visit freesurvivallighter.com today.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to generate an endless supply of natural silver solutions. SilverLungs.com. You'll find no wild claims or pseudoscience, just a lifetime of nano-sized pure silver solutions. The Silver Lungs generator allows you to make your own, so stop paying for silver solutions. The unique lung delivery system targets respiratory infections where other silver solutions simply cannot reach. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at SilverLungs.com. That's SilverLungs.com.
No matter how hard you try, you can't stop us now. No matter how hard you try, you can't stop us now. We're the renegades in this atomic.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight, and we're talking to Paul Joseph Watson. And what we were talking about just before the break was this situation at the University of Virginia involving the Rolling Stone story. And, of course, this has been going on for about 6 months. As Paul was pointing out, there was a climate that had been created by NPR and some other mainstream outlets or left-stream outlets, however you want to call it, a narrative, trying the politically correct narrative about rape on college campuses. And apparently in trying to tap into that vibe, Rolling Stone reporters went over the edge. And this is a report that came out today. Actually, this is reported on NPR. A report by the Columbia University Graduate School of Journalism said that the errors behind the article involved, quote, basically every level of Rolling Stone's newsroom. They said it was a systematic failing. It involved basically every level of the Rolling Stone newsroom, the reporter, the editor on the front lines, but also the policies and the supervision failed. But basically, Paul, this is essentially, I don't know, we see that happen so many times. We've got the media becoming an echo chamber for some cause celeb or some especially politically correct cause.
Yeah, it's basically political activism disguised as journalism.
Yes.
But the thing about it is this Rolling Stone writer who wrote this article in November last year, it's since been completely debunked. She's not going to be fired. Neither is her managing editor, the article editor, or any of the fact checkers that were involved in publishing this story, despite the fact that even from the very outset, as this Columbia University report makes clear, you know, the quotes used in the article were not from the actual people they were ascribed to. The main protagonist in the supposed gang rape of this woman, Jackie, did not exist. The police, the university couldn't find any evidence that he even existed. So it was completely, it was at least dodgy from the very start. It turned out to be fraudulent, but nobody's being fired. And then, you know, Brian Williams gets suspended for 6 months for lying about a story. But this writer, this Rolling Stone writer, Sabrina Erdely, and all the staff on the Rolling Stone involved with this keep their jobs. Nothing happens to them. So again, this idea of male privilege is completely demolished. And, you know, it's the double standard. You know, when certain people say things that are offensive, or when journalists get things badly wrong, or when they lie, some of them are fired, some of them are forced to apologize, some of them just keep their jobs. And even in the apology that this writer made, she didn't apologize to the people accused in this fraternity of having committed this gang rape, which there's no evidence for. So even then, they still doubled down and refused to take full responsibility.
Interesting. It looks like there is going to be, they said that the fraternity, that they are going to follow every legal alley that they have to get compensated for this. One of the things I think that's interesting, too, about this, Paul, is, as they pointed out in this review, they said the pseudonyms and the attribution disguise, as you point out, some of these people did not even really exist, were not only where the information came from, but also the fact they never identified these friends or ever spoke to them. And, of course, that's always an issue when we do journalism. Many times we've got cases that are going on right now with the Obama administration going after James Rosen, a couple of people who are from the New York Times as well as Fox News did not want to reveal their sources. We've had situations like the Dyess Air Force Base where we couldn't reveal our source there. So you always do have legitimate cases where you don't want to reveal your source in order to protect that source, and you have that privilege. But then that can be abused in a really horrific way. I mean, what is the bottom line for this in terms of journalism? The bottom line is
what the report said, which was that Rolling Stone's fundamental mistake was in suspending any skepticism about Jackie's account, because remember, it was all coming from just her. There was no corroborating evidence or other sources because of the sensitivity of the issue. And even now in the aftermath, they're saying, well, it was right to go through with this because, you know, she was a victim and we had to consider the sensitivities of it, even though there's no evidence that she was even a victim at all. So again, it's this political activism, this social justice warrior mentality, that it's okay to lie and follow sloppy standards and just throw up an article that impugns an entire university because of the greater good and the sensitivity of the rape issue, when they completely ignore the huge rape scandal sweeping Europe in, you know, Denmark, Sweden, and Norway, where it's through the roof. It's up 1,400% rate since the mid-'70s, mainly because of Muslim immigrants. 77% of the culprits in Sweden are identified as foreigners. Because that's not politically correct, leftists and feminists completely ignore it while peddling this rape culture myth, which is being completely debunked by the Justice Department's own statistics.
Yeah, very, very, very selective about what they report. Of course, they're not going to attack anyone who, as you point out, who is exposing their sacred cows. But of course, they will come after anyone who they don't like politically, even if they have to make up the information. Stay with us. We're going to be right back talking to Paul Joseph Watson from the UK.
We're on the march.